I like playing games. This is the actual photo of me when I got my first computer and I started playing games. And today I will take you with the gaming metaphor, especially games like RPG games, Diablo, Baldur's Gate, or The Witcher. Some things about there are people that believes that transformation is a quest in RPG game. Very simple one. You just need to do simple things like finding right people, doing specific tasks, specific activities, and when you finish that, you are successful. Some wiser one will say, no, that's not that simple. It's more complicated. It is hard to find proper people. You need to find proper weapons. You need to find specific troll that will tell you where the dragon is, and you have to try to slay this dragon, and it is very hard to do that. But again, it's not that easy. But when you do that, you accomplish your mission. Your transformation is finished. You level up, you gathered many experience points, you can show up on some conferences and brag about the success of your situation, and you can move on to the next episode, to the next season, to the next game in different company. If you really need to, you can continue playing the game in the company where you started. If that's the sandbox game, you can just move over the world where you have nothing to do there. All the missions are accomplished. You can just, try to find some Easter eggs in this game. If you think about agile transformation like that, I have bad news for you. It's not working like that. It's even worse. For example, these dragons that you need to slay, they are respawning. What do I mean? The owner of the company might change. The top managers might change. Some crucial middle managers might change. The market situation of your company might change. Your competition might become much harder. And all these things impact your situation. It's not only the anti-patterns like Tomek mentioned that might be wrong. You might be doing everything you want and everything you can, and still the outside world, the complexity of this situation, might make your transformation impossible to complete. You cannot finish your transformation. It's an ongoing process. There's no end state of transformation, or let's say, almost impossible. Probably, I don't want to argue with someone who is brave enough to say that in his company he finished that. In my opinion, it is ongoing work, and you have to accept such fact. Those who are not accepting this fact try to find some solutions, maybe buy some solutions, like asking or copying some ready-made solutions, ready-made frameworks, copy some most successful startups that are doing specific squads, tribes, and chapters, and just apply this. And you think that, that will help us. This is the solution to finish our transformation. Other things that, maybe we cannot copy a specific solution, but we can plan the transformation. We can ask some wise consultants from large consulting companies that already have seen all, or at least hundreds of companies that already finished the transformation, at least that's what they claim. And they will help us to design the change. They will help us with redesign of structures, of processes, of finding new roles. You have prepared a specific plan. You will pay, of course, a lot of money for that. And then it is only easy implementation of some specific designs. Problem here is that it's the Winnie the Pooh paradox. Problem with the planning is that, at least what I read in one of my son's book, Winnie the Pooh said something like that. The more he tried to plan the Agile transformation, the more he couldn't. Why is that? Because Agile transformation is such a complex task, such a complex change, that if you will try to break down all the matters, all the aspects that requires the change, then you will stuck on this planning phase. You just will not move forward. And what's even more worrying for me is that when you will do some plans, then you might stick to those plans. A few days ago, I was talking with some person from the company that is during the transformation, and she said that they are over a year during the transformation, and everything is going like planned. They recognize all the risks, and they just move forward, and everything is fine. The transformation is going smoothly. I don't believe it. And what's in this case is the example of situation where you put so much effort into your plan that you just believe that it is the whole reality. You don't look for those things that you haven't planned yet. But what's possible? It's impossible to plan specific whole change. It's impossible to copy the ready-made solution. So what's possible? Definitely possible is to start the transformation. Make it happen, make it rolling. There are many methods. I will not argue right now which is better, which is worse, but you can start the transformation and ask yourselves a few specific questions. And who should do that? Tomek already also mentioned that, and Christian mentioned this as an anti-pattern. How many of you are Scrum Masters, and how many of you recognize this quote? It is a quote from Scrum Guide. Responsibility of Scrum Master is not only working with the team and product owner and deliver incrementally product, but also transform the company. Start the adoption of Scrum, improve it, and improve the effectiveness of the whole company, of the processes, of the product or business value delivery. And it is the role of Scrum Masters, so especially at the beginning of the transformation, those Scrum Masters should be already there, so probably we will need some Scrum Masters in the company that want to transform. When we have proper people and we know that we want to improve, then let's focus in which direction we want to improve. It's not possible to improve in all the possible directions. You need to focus on something and start to improving. You need to answer yourself what are the KPIs that you want to improve, and probably it would be better to improve something in your processes rather than just copy blindly some specific frameworks, specific methods, even if that's the Scrum, my beloved one. What you need to do is to accept the infinity aspect, infinity continuous aspect of transformation. So if there is a disagreement between managers, top managers, or agile coaches, or Scrum Masters that the transformation is a forever, never-ending story, then here you have problem. Because if someone thinks that it might be planned, then there will always be some discussions how to make it faster, how to make it happen properly, how to finish it. You also need to build a vision of the future organization. For example, in my last company where I worked, from time to time, we gathered with leader of the transformation and all the teams that was, let's say, most engaged in the transformation. And we talked not only about which team should be Scrum and which should wait for Scrum, but what habits we want to have, what organizational culture we want to have in the company. So what is the future vision of our organization, how it will be managed, how teams will cooperate with each other, for example. And that should be the first discussion, not which method or framework we should use. Another thing is that you need to have a fuel. If you want to have fire burning, this fire has to have its fuel. So you need to know what's wrong in our company, and you need to constantly find new reasons to change. When you adopted few things, when you improve something, then you need to find another one. And you can do that by doing surveys. You can do this by talking with the development teams. You can ask your stakeholders what they are satisfied with and what should be improved. And even if you will have quite proper Scrum on teams level, I'm sure that there is plenty of things that you can do on the organizational level. It is impossible to plan the whole transformation, but it is very important to plan your closest step. Your next step may be a few steps ahead. You need to know who is working on the most important impediments. Tomek already mentioned that. There are some situations when if you accept that you cannot plan the transformation, then you just refuse to plan anything. You need to have an idea what to change and who is working on it. And everybody in the company needs to know who is doing this. Because sometimes I've seen the situation when everyone in the company knew that we have a problem, for example, with testing environment, and everyone asked by me told me that, well, for sure someone is doing something with this, but not me, and I don't know who is this one, who is improving the environments. Definitely, it should be very transparent and known to everybody who is doing what on our closest steps in our transformation. And last thing here is that definitely we should improve not only on the processes, development process, business processes, but also on the transformation process. So probably, most probably, you will fail at the beginning. So you have to improve your skills to change the company, to communicate the change, to find the fuel, to find the new next steps. So you need to do retrospectives not only on teams level or organizational level, but also retrospective within the team or group or the community that is doing in your company your agile transformation. And this retrospective should be strictly on the process of your improvement of your company. To summarize the points that I wanted to share here in this presentation, transformation is not a project. You shouldn't treat it like a project. Transformation is a complex change. And like every complex change, you cannot plan it. You will not be able to successfully plan it. You should rather agree on the direction of change, focus on this direction, and try to do something about it. Don't make yourself feel bad that you don't meet some milestones or change the scope of the change. And last thing is that probably you should work your own practices for yourself. There is nothing to copy. You need to be wise on your own, and your organization is different than all the other organizations in the world. Thank you for listening to me. If you want to catch up and discuss these things, feel free to contact me and also reach me during the breaks and during the Ask the Expert panel. Thank you.